Hey, what's up, Elijah? How you feeling, man?
Good, man. Nice to meet you, Stanley.
Yeah, it's good to meet you too, man. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I like your stuff on the stage. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. One of the things that inspired me to really get this festival going is some of the old promoters. There's a promoter named Bill Graham that used to really promote. This guy, Bill Graham, would, he booked all the big acts. It's Carlos Santana, Led Zeppelin, all of them. But he always had bands in front of those bands that were new, that he was interested in, and someone that bands that he wanted to see get larger. So that's kind of the vibe that we have with this festival. Uh, that we get people that we like, and your band is
Amazing.
guys. Noah is killing, and I love your solo stuff too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, when I heard that I was invited for the festival, I was like, what? Yes, I would
Yes.
love to do that.
What
Yeah.
I'm interested in from both of you is like you didn't just show up.
Oh, well, I went to school. I studied jazz.
Damn.
I went to Santa Monica College. That's where I took the classes. I said in my little like promo video
Oh
that
yeah.
that was one of the things that was significant to me about Santa Monica was that I took classes there and I got obsessed with jazz. And then I went to Cal State Northridge, and then I went to Cal State Long Beach, and I was just studying, and I was doing a lot of vocal jazz stuff and just like writing my own music. And when I met Lewis, it was a way for me to incorporate the things that I had learned in school,
Yeah.
and like and all the things, yeah, just all the music that I was learning, like that and then connect it to kind of all the new stuff that I was trying to do as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
that school was good for you.
I loved it. A lot of my friends are like, "Oh, I didn't need school. School was just helping me meet people." But I consider myself a pretty late bloomer, so
Yeah.
I
Well,
found it helpful.
it was cool. And Elijah, what about you? Did you
Um,
do schooling
yeah, I
also?
did. I went to school as well. I actually saw Genevieve perform while I was at Oberlin in Ohio. My buddy Matt
Yeah.
DiBiase, I think, brought you out there. But so I was a fan. I was
Yeah.
a fan of Nowhere when I was in college. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, I
Oh
went
my
to Oberlin, where Gary Bartz, Billy Hart, the
Okay.
faculty is amazing. So I was studying
That was a
piano.
great practice. I remember that. There
Yeah,
was.
it
And how
was
was that overall? It must have been great for you.
It was amazing. I mean, it was a little the location's very remote, so it kind of felt
Uh-huh.
like it's in basically in a farm in Ohio,
Yeah.
sort of. But so, Billy Hart would like fly out from Jersey and be there for a couple days. And I also got to study with Sullivan Fortner while I was there for 6 months when he sort of stepped in. But yeah, it was an amazing experience because I it was kind of like uh it was very creative and sort of like you could kind of like live in a dream a little bit. I wasn't like thinking about branding or wasn't like in a
Right.
scene like New York or LA. So I was really able to kind of practice and create. I was very inspired, but it was also very simple because it was like I'm either going to
Yeah.
practice piano or like hang out with like there wasn't many options. So then when I moved to New York, I was like kind of like overwhelmed with possibilities, but I also
Sure.
realized that I hadn't learned a lot about like I had been in a little bit of a dream world while I was there. So it was like kind of a snap back to reality when I got to
That's
New York
interesting.
and LA after. But yeah.
I was talking to someone at Berkeley
Hmm.
and in Boston, the music school, and we were wondering whether it was really beneficial to the students to bring in this heavy business thing, which would, in some ways, maybe cause stress. Like
Yeah.
you got to do this, because you got to be able to read a contract. I mean, in my day, I used to kid with the piano player George Duke. I think the
Oh,
first 5 or 6 contracts we had, we didn't understand shit. I mean, it
no.
was like, where's the money? Okay, that looks good. And what's the date? Oh, we got to deliver here, and that's it. 34 pages. Thank you. Next.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the
Yeah.
hell a master was. We didn't know licensing. What a license? What is that? A driver's license? You know,
Yeah.
we just a lot of musicians in those days were just we. It was unfortunate, but yeah. So,
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, maybe that bubble that we were in was pretty good. What about you? Did you when you went to your school? Did they give you any like business stuff at all, or what?
They had a strong music business program, but I didn't take any classes. I'm still learning. I'm still like, contract, yeah.
Well, you
Um,
know what's good.
but my I've
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what. If you take a contract, cut and paste, put it in AI, and just say summarize, you get
Yeah.
about 95% of it. It's very good.
That is such a good okay, I try to stay away from AI, but in that case I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Also, it's just inevitable.
Yeah.
Might as well.
That's cool. Well, I'm glad that you guys want to do the festival and you're going to do it and all that kind of stuff. I really think it's going to be exciting. We're going to have a lot of people there. Like, what are you guys expecting? Like, what do you think?
Well, I can't wait. I would always go to the Third Street Promenade when I was in high
Hmm.
school, just to walk up and down, nothing else to do. And I always wanted to play on the promenade. So one of the shows I'm doing is going to actually be there, which
Right,
I'm telling you, but
right. Yeah, we
um,
thought that was great. Yeah,
yeah. So that's going to be interesting because I consider my music to be well. I think it makes sense, but I think a lot of people tell me that it's pretty weird. So it's going to be interesting to get to just see how people react. Because I'm gonna go all out. I decided to just bring my I decided for this set I wanted to just go for it and sort of bring my I don't know, like deeper songs.
yeah. Just go for it. I don't think the music's weird. I'm one of the kind of guys. I'm still looking for something that I think that's really weird to where I can't confront it. I don't I don't know. It's nice. I really like what you guys do, and um, yeah, it's going to be something. Did you ever see that guy on the Third Street Promenade that was like he looked like an Indian guy, and he just sat there playing the drums, and it was just like a bass drum. He had a snare, a hi hat. I'm not even sure if he had a cymbal, and he was singing Beatle tunes.
No,
Oh.
I don't remember that.
You
I
missed
remember
it.
the Red Elvises, but not that guy.
Yeah, this guy just you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Boom, love you. And I used to walk down there and say, "Oh man, yeah, that okay, I see." And people were throwing money at him and all that. Stuff. He was an older guy. I get it.
Oh.
What
Yeah.
about you, Elijah? What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. I was honored to be invited, and yeah, like I'm gonna be playing with a trio with my old roommate Luke Titus on drums, amazing drummer from Chicago, and Caleb Buchanan on bass. So we're gonna be definitely be
Where's he from? Where's
uh,
Caleb from?
Caleb. I think pretty sure he's from the Bay, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're definitely gonna be stretching and trying some new stuff. So yeah, I got a lot of other friends on the lineup. My other former roommate Kiefer is going to be playing, and so yeah,
Right, yeah.
I was excited to be invited. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. And nowhere when you okay, so your thing on the promenade is that a duet or a trio?
I'm gonna have it's gonna be six of us. It's gonna be um, Lewis Cole, and Maya Nelson will be singing backup. Fresha Belmar will play bass.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
nice.
I met her recently.
You did?
Yeah, I met her. She came to. I was doing something at the couple nights at the Blue Note in L.A.
Ah,
and she had some
Oh,
kind of
cool.
outfit on.
yeah, she's wild. I really
Yeah,
like
Hey,
her.
is
yeah,
she
she's
from
amazing.
Chile? Is she from Chile?
Yeah.
Yeah, Valparaiso,
Yeah.
I think.
My wife's
Yeah.
from Chile. So,
What?
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
she was telling me she was from Chile, and yeah, she's a lot spirited. I'll tell you. So I'm really looking forward
Yeah.
to hearing her. Nice, yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And do you guys like? Well, what's the like the music scene from a, recording and touring? Like how do you guys feel? And if you hate it, feel free to express.
Um,
One of you
I
guys.
think I think LA it's a really like exciting time in LA, like for the
Yeah.
sort of like alternative jazz adjacent scene. I mean, I've been
Right.
inspired by Nowhere for a while, but
Yeah.
a lot of there's this record label Minaret Records that's doing a lot of kind of like alternative venue like outdoor concerts and stuff. And there's yeah, it feels like a sort of like um um yeah, it's like sort of feels like a what's the right word, oasis of like inspiration, and yeah, so it feels like a good time to feels like the right place and the right time, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, LA is. I'm amazed at all the new festivals, and uh, I think the Blue Whale is opening up again. I think I heard, or have they done it yet?
I
The
hope
Blue
so. I
Whale.
hope they do it soon.
I used to love that place. So they are definitely opening up. They got a new spot, and well, the Blue Note is there, and you know, some other places.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is a great time for Los Angeles, kind of a resurgence, the way it used to be back in the '70s and the '80s. There was many places to play.
Genevieve, I've tried to several times. So glad we're able to work together because I know I've made several attempts, and because of scheduling and that kind of stuff, we haven't been able to connect. But just glad that it's all working out. Now you got two gigs. Um,
Yay.
uh, and I understand that you're going to open up for SML at Tergram. Do you know about that?
No,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I just agreed to that thing. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited for that.
So that seems to be a very cool band that could have made a lot of sense for us maybe next year. But as far as that scene, over on that side of town, it really seems to be something. And I'm wondering, if are you part of that? Where are you based here? And what's your take on where that kind of scene is right now in LA? Are you seeing um, are you seeing something that could be even labeled a scene, or you just do your own thing? Or
I'm more of a part of that minaret people scene,
okay,
actually, like with Yusuf, and I was already friends with, a lot of the artists on his label, like Chiquita Magic and Frederico Eliodoro from Brazil, and
I love him.
um oh yeah, he's so awesome. I want to see him again.
Yeah, we
Henry
did a gig in
Solomon and
Rio.
Logan King. Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah, it
that's
was so
cool. They
fun.
did a gig in Rio.
Yeah, when I was there.
So yeah, I mean, I think that there is a scene, but there's something about LA that isn't like other cities where, well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that, but I haven't had much of the experience in LA where it's like like musicians all getting together and like jamming all the time. Um, I think that there's these little pockets, and I think of LA was probably just because of my own personal experience as a city where people do their creative projects and sort of work on their own and then come together for these events. Um,
right,
Even on tour, we run into each other more often on the road than we do at home.
right. So that's interesting. It's very different from New York, say, where there's smalls where people are dropping in every night and jamming with each other. Um, we're more disparate geographically, and that may have something to do with it. Uh,
Yeah.
Elijah, are you part of that Minaret crew too?
Yeah. I've done a couple of shows with them and hosted a couple shows actually at my old spot in Highland Park. But yeah, there's a lot of it's always it's like a strong community. And yeah, I'm definitely Yusef's a good friend of mine. and yeah, they've done. It's a really good scene, I would say. Um, and like there, it's cool because it's not really tied into any one genre specifically. It's just like there's a lot of space for. There have been some sets where there was like DJs at the end of the night or sort of like ambient harp. It's just very like forward thinking, genreless music, but I guess you could call it alternative jazz. But yeah, he's really good at bringing people together. The founder, Yusef
Yeah,
Hilmi.
yeah. No,
So
he was
it's
he was
yeah.
he was Yusuf was responsible for our lineup on the promenade, and so that's really what brought
Oh
Yeah,
us
he's a good guy.
to both of you, and that was through Stanley. You know, the connections are really interesting because Yusuf gave us a list, and I knew about half the names or had worked with, you know, many of the people, but there were also many that I was just finding out about for the first time. And so I think the Promenade show is going to be for the audience a lot about discovery too, but at a very high level.
Yeah, that's
mhm.
that's that's the thing about this festival. That's so you guys. Well, actually, it's kind of special that you guys are actually helping us start the festival. You're part of the inaugural event, so we're not going to
Mm.
forget that. And if we call you again,
Yeah.
I'll say yes.
It's a serious
Yeah,
honor. It's a serious, serious honor. And
yeah.
I'm just so grateful. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Yeah, likewise.
Awesome.
Such a.
Awesome.
I was very excited when I first got the email, and so super honored to be a part of it. I actually realized I'm also. I know Blake from Riviera Seafood Club. Is he's a good friend of mine. I think
You
he
know
always
my
mentioned. I
favorite.
just remembered he mentioned that you're like his close family friend or his godfather or something.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, well, it's kind of like his godfather, but I'm his uncle.
Oh,
His mother, the sister of my wife.
okay.
They're both Chilean girls. And Blake, I've known him all his
Oh
life,
wow.
and it's fantastic to watch him
Yeah, yeah.
grow up and he's in this business, and
Hmm.
and music is like, I think I kind of ruined all the kids. So I had them listening to Coltrane
Oh.
at 10 years old and 11 years old. What is this? What is this? I said, just
Yeah,
listen,
turn them
just
into
listen.
snobs early.
Herbie.
Mhm.
They would get all the names. Herbie Davis,
Huh.
Miles Smith. But no, they're good.
It,
It's
it,
all
it,
good.
Yeah,
Blake,
it's funny.
he's a good guy.
yeah. He's a good.
It's funny because I'm always asking Stanley, like, wait, so that's your kid, and that's your nephew, and your God's, you know, it's just funny how he's got all these people all these kids really that look up to him and that he's teaching in one way or another, and some are related by blood, some are not. Um,
Yeah, yeah. We've always had in our family. I think I get this from Sophie. Her family is like this, and my parts of my family are like this, where you grow up in a neighborhood where everyone's your mother and everyone's your father. You know what I mean? And so it's just that kind of thing. So all the kids and then their friends, everyone coming over. And we've had these like iconic barbecues at at my house, just like
Oh, cool.
endless amounts of people where I'm walking around. Who are you? Who are you? What? You're what? Oh, you know me? Oh, I okay. And it's great, because I don't know. I've always anybody that knows me real well, they know my real love is teaching music, uh, and I'm kind of I definitely get into it from the literal sense, but I also understand when people are young as musicians, they always have doubts and regrets and all these kind of things, and all these extra things really get in the way. I was so fortunate that when I went to New York at 18, and I started playing with Stan Getz and Art Blakey, the guys that really, some of the building blocks of what we call jazz. And these guys used to always say to me, "Don't think, fuck that. Don't think about shit. Just play the goddamn music." I found this picture of myself and Tony Williams and Art Blakey, and I remember someone taking the picture because in those days there were no iPhones, so I can actually literally remember a lot of pictures that were taken because there weren't that many taken. And there was this one picture, and someone found it. Me, Tony, and Art was having an argument with Tony, and Tony was like, not as young as me, but I look like I'm 10 years older, like a tall guy, 10 years old, humongous afro, and I found it. But I learned a lot from Art Blakey, because those guys were pressured different. You had the racial stuff, but you also had, the business was in my opinion, it was much more crappier than it has ever been. I mean, we have, it's great compared to what those guys. They had to have these cabaret cards and all this stuff to work in New York, and if they got busted with drugs, they were banned for like 6 months or whatever. And so he was very hardcore, and it was just just all very straight, like just play the music. It doesn't matter what you think of yourself. He used to say that. He says, because in the end, the music is going to speak for you in that business. How well you play your instrument. The rest is all psychological. It doesn't matter.
In order to play without thinking, you have to have a certain level of facility and, dare I say, mastery to do so. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that or belief in yourself. Just and belief in yourself is not thinking. It's just like if you're confident, it's kind of like I remember listening to Mike Tyson talk about all the stuff he's ever talked about. The kind of this common denominator word that just went into all his interviews was confidence. You just go in there, you believe that you can knock the guy out. You can play this instrument and what you're playing. The unfortunate thing about jazz education and Chick Corea is, oh man, he hated all those schools. He didn't like it. He hated Berkeley and all those schools. And he said the reason is because they held these standards. Like for instance, to be considered great, like you got to be able to play on giant steps or sing giant steps or whatever. Then the Coltrane tune, and somehow that's like the thing. But some people go to school, and because of their background, because of who they are, maybe they want to be country musicians. Like you take a guy like Bela Fleck who plays banjo. I mean, he's a tremendous musician, can play anything. But he was interested in his own music. Myself, I mean, even though I was called a jazz bass player, but I am not a jazz bass player. I kind of follow along, like Ron Carter was my mentor, and he says, "You're not a jazz bass player. I'm not, but I'm not going to tell anybody. But I'm a bass player." I mean, he played on he's the most recorded bass player ever. He played on every genre of music you can imagine. I mean, and I've done quite a bit myself, and I mean, I played on Aretha Franklin albums, Pharoah Sanders records, Joe Henderson, Stan Getz, all kinds of people. Done a lot of what's the band? White Snake. Some heavy, And I remember these guys calling me in the morning saying, "Hey, we want you to play." It was when the slapping thing was really getting big. They wanted a slap track, but they said, "Listen, we'll pay you whatever you want, but here's the only trick." I said, "Well, what is?" He says, "You can't put your name on the record." I cracked up, so I said, "I'm going to play on the record, and this asshole over here is going to get to
Oh my
play."
God.
That's messed up.
And there was a lot of that going on back then. Believe more than you can imagine. And but I've done like lots of stuff Paul McCartney, all kinds of records, but I wanted to ask you guys, like, say if you took the term jazz out of the mix, you were not able to use that word, what would you call your music?
Ooh.
Oh, well, actually, I was on a playlist recently that David Byrne made, and he called it avant pop,
Yeah.
and I kind of like it. And I don't know, because I feel like what I do has like a lot of pop, a lot of jazz, a lot of different things combined, but then it's like really like on drugs or something. So it's hard
Yeah.
to give it a
Yeah.
name. I just prefer to leave it in other people's hands.
I understand. What
I
what about
guess
you?
if I had to name it, I would maybe say like psychedelic soul or something.
Ooh.
But I mean, I also like I have a lot of different inspirations, like impressionistic, classical, and then a lot of like gospel music as well. So it's kind of hard to pick one name. Blues.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because when you start putting the words to it, it kind of, I mean, obviously the purpose is for, you know, catalog reasons, commerce reasons. They got to put it in
Yeah.
a bin somewhere, and they something. I mean, and the word jazz. All the old guys. I don't know whether you ever knew this or not. They
Yeah.
hated that word jazz. It actually comes from. I think it has something to do with baseball, like throwing, playing real fast. It was spelled different, like
Yeah.
JASS maybe or something, and had absolutely nothing to do with the music. And so the guys, the early bebop guys, they were coming playing, especially Charlie Parker, right around that time, and before they were playing really fast, and actually way before Charlie Parker. So they just gave it this term like
Hmm.
jazz, so. But those guys used to hate it. God, I remember Miles Davis. Boy, he really hated
Yeah.
that word. But I really
Well,
hated it.
Yeah.
But I always wonder, like, when you put a name to it, kind of, it's almost like you're picking other names of other
Yeah.
categories and genres, like avant pop. I wonder if we'll ever get to a point where it would be like Fox
Oh
music
yeah.
or Toddy swing
Oh
or
That's
yeah.
something.
right. That's
I mean,
right.
Yeah.
you know, I'm wondering would it ever get to that, or it becomes more individual to that person or something because, yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, jazz is, as we move down the timeline here, it's it's become more and more an undefined term. It's just, I mean, what you guys do to me, I would put it in that under that umbrella because you have improvisation and
Yeah.
you got chords and that's all I
Yeah.
need.
I think a lot of times too, just the instrumentation can kind of define it as jazz. Like well, people, if they see a saxophone and trumpet and a piano and bass, they just kind of automatically say, "Oh, that's jazz." But it's like it could be so
Automatic.
much more than that. But because sometimes just because of the instruments, it gets kind of grouped into this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
associate. It's unfortunate,
But
but yeah, because jazz, like it's funny, the term jazz, it doesn't just have a musical, the significance. It's just not just about music. I mean, I had some relatives that say, "Oh, I don't listen to jazz," and I always inquire, "Well, what have you been listening to? Like, well, what jazz?" And I remember this one relative said, "Yeah, I got this record by this singer Mahalia Jackson." I said, "That's a gospel singer."
yeah.
It's like way before Aretha Franklin. Yeah, but it was nice, but it sounded old. I said, "That's not jazz." You know, well,
Yeah.
it's the words. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
we're gonna fix that, aren't
Yeah. Mhm.
we?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, Martin, you got some more stuff?
yeah, my understanding, and I may be wrong, but I think Ben Jaffe from Pres Hall was the one who told me that the word jazz is derived from JASS, and it comes out of New Orleans, and it's got nothing to do with baseball.
What does it have to do with? What is it?
The last three letters have
Ah,
Oh,
it was because it was the music of the brothels in New Orleans.
oh,
ah,
storybook
I
district,
see.
right?
I
Yeah,
see.
Yeah, Storyville. Yeah,
Storyville,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's cleaning the baseball angle kind of
And
cleaning up.
that and that came from Ben Jaffe, and Ben should
You
know.
would know.
Um, but yeah, did you tell them at all about your recent trip to Japan? Speaking about getting out of genres,
Yeah, yeah. I
can you talk about that?
Fortunately I have a contract that I can't.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna.
Let's say I recorded with a really popular pop artist that you would never think would call somebody like me, but they did.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
and
cool.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. People are really opening up. This artist said, "Yeah, I was listening to Return to Forever all last week." I said, "What are you doing listening to Return to Forever?"
Hmm.
He says, "Why not?" So you know,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Cool.
that's kind of cool. That's cool.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Japan in July, and I was actually just before this call, I was looking for an air conditioned vest or neck thing, something for the humidity because it's the worst over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's
It
it's
can be
it's
rough,
rough over there. It's rough over
especially in
the
Tokyo.
summer. But what are you going to do? You playing some shows over there?
Well, so far we have one booked,
Good.
or yeah, we have one. It's the Bruno
Yeah,
Festival,
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
and then we're trying to see if we can get one in Osaka, maybe in Korea.
Yeah, you probably can. They suffer from the same thing with the promoters over there, are kind of a little depressed,
Oh,
and they see, especially if they're looking at you, if this is a jazz group that's coming over there. Did you guys send all your stuff over there? Like, you got a good agent over there or what?
well, we actually it's a little like Lewis was signed to Brain Feeder. We both were, and so we would go through this one company that usually only works with labels, but then they decided to work with Nora even though we're independent.
Oh,
So I think that we're communicating through them. They're called Beat Inc. And they've been really good to us.
yeah, good. Yeah, you should do as much PR as you can over there. Like, they still have that going. I remember
And
I
yeah.
saw, well, actually, a Thundercat showed me pictures of him, a piano player named Dennis, and some, yeah,
Dennis Hand.
and they were just played on the street. They got arrested. This
Oh,
playing on the
oh,
street in Tokyo,
damn.
and he
Wait,
got really famous.
what?
So that's a recommendation. You can.
We did that, but then, well, I did. I was just filming, but when we did it, the police just came in. They gave a ticket, and then they were very polite. They're like, "Here's your ticket,
Yeah,
goodbye," and
yeah.
then we stopped.
I really think you got to get drastic a bit these days. Kind of shock. You got to
Hmm.
Yeah.
you got to
That's
shock
crazy.
people. In some ways. Because yeah,
Hmm.
you don't want to be defined necessarily by the business and what other people think, which actually, you know, whether you like, I mean, it's hard to avoid it. That's going to happen. But if you have an opportunity to push back in any way, even in the most dramatic sense, shit, go. But Japan is
Yeah.
cool, man. I had a great time over there. I thought the best steak I ever had was in Argentina. Now it's Tokyo. A place called Wolfgang's in Roppongi. The best steak I ever had. Ever.
Oh,
Period.
ooh. Roppongi,
Roppongi,
you
yeah.
Oof.
said?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah, I
place
love
called
that.
Wolfgang's. You sit at the bar, and these guys,
Oh,
they
nice.
really, like, the way they put everything down is so precise, and the people are really,
Hmm.
it's amazing. See, I'm sitting at this bar, I'm waiting for just a beer to lay down. The guy puts his stuff down there like you're at some fancy restaurant, and I said I want the steak and this and that. And they bought this whole thing, silver, the whole thing. It was tremendous, tremendous. Yeah, I really like that place.
Amazing. Yeah, the food is out of this world over there. I'd love to go with
Huh?
Blake at some point. I'd love to go
Oh
out there with
yeah,
Blake.
yeah.
That'd
I'd
be
like to get
awesome.
Blake out there more. You know,
Yeah,
so that's their thing.
but
So, what do you think, Martin?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, there was one other question that I had that was from back in our conversation. We were talking about, fluency to the point, or confidence to the point of not thinking, just playing. And I was wondering for each of you, um, when was the last time you were in that zone, uh, where you were just playing and not thinking, or the last time that you really hit that place? Because I know, technically, I know that you guys are all there, but sometimes it takes more than that to reach that point.
I
Yeah.
was doing the dishes the other day and I was just randomly improvising in my head, or I was singing in the kitchen, but to the changes in my head, a confirmation.
Mm.
No, but really, it was funny because I was like just singing and I'm like, wow, I'm coming up with all these cool ideas. I should record myself because I don't do that very often. And then as soon as I started recording myself, it all went away. But yeah, I don't improvise very often, but when I'm writing, I think I do enter that zone quite a bit. When I enter this sort of following my intuition, but it's working like also on a seemingly sort of mechanical level as well. Right now I'm arranging I'm composing and arranging a song for a big band performance I'm about to do,
Mhm.
and uh yeah, it's not that easy to kind of come in and out of it, even though I know that the question was a different question, but I do think it applies to writing.
No, you
Absolutely.
absolutely answered the question, and it brings to mind that people have talked about doing the dishes as a meditation,
Mm-hmm.
and the only recommendation I would have is set that mic up like earlier in the day by the sink and forget about it. Go and do the dishes, and maybe that's a method to get there.
Yeah, doing something else.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I tend to think too much, and I'll beat myself up if I'm having a hard time and just be like, I give up, I give up. So yeah, it's still something that I would really like to improve.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I, I could, one of the things I like to do is paint houses. Believe it or not. I like, I know it's weird. I know, but I enjoy like painting rooms. I got friends, my really close friends will say, hey, Stanley, I got this room. I know you like to paint rooms. You want to come over and do it? It's like, I'm pretty good at it. So I go paint a room or something like that. And I get it doing that, and many other things too. I think that, when you let whatever it is that you're trying to do in your heart full, some people call it God or love or whatever, but whatever that stuff is, you know, for me, when I let it in, and in many ways like open the door up, because it happens to me when I go on the stage. When I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think I was playing with Joe Henderson, the saxophone player, and for some reason I used to get nervous, and part of that was because he never said more than all the 2 years I was with him. Maybe he said, aside from announcing the names of the song, maybe he said 10 words to me. He was that guy, just like, he had these tunes. He'd go, yeah, okay, Shade of Jade, bang, or Black Narcissism, and we go, and then one time he said to me, yeah, you sound good, and I counted the words, yeah, you sound good. Man, that's incredible. It's been a year, but I recognized years later that I was nervous because I felt that I needed his acknowledgement, which I realized later he was just a
Mhm.
shy guy. Came to one of my birthday parties, and he was normal, and he was talking his head off. He was just a shy guy on stage, could play his ass off, and then I mistook that. I read him wrong and took it for something else, and all that other mental machinery used to kick in. Oh, maybe good. Well, I am only 19. Oh shit, I don't sound like Ron Carter or this or that. But then later after that, when I started playing with my own groups and hanging out with guys that I was really close with, Lenny White and people like that, and we would just come up on the stage with our own bands and that confidence and even just that will just to let it all out. And I would just fill myself up with the music, and there was just no room for anything else. I mean, there just wasn't.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, Martin, like if you have a certain degree of technical expertise, I mean, in many ways, we all have too much more than we need, and so that's there.
Mhm.
Hey, just fill yourself up with the love, and that's it, right?
Mhm.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think, Elijah?
Well, actually, I got inspired by one of my heroes, Keith Jarrett, to try to go on like improvised tours where I fully improvise each show. And what I'll do before the show is I'll just literally walk around the city all day and sort of be like
Mm-hmm.
meditating. And then when I get
Yeah.
to the show right before I play, I actually like meditate on my own death for a little bit, and I just think about how grateful I would be to be in that city
Yeah.
at that point. And then what I try to do is a little bit weird, but I try to think about what the specific piano would want to play, and because it's
Mm-hmm.
always a different piano, and I sometimes think about like how it might have been played like 50 years ago or served a certain purpose, and so I try to believe in like the wood of the instrument as like a living thing, and I try to lose myself and get in sort of like a trance where I'm also just sort of reflecting back what I saw through walking through the city that day. And yeah, also sometimes I'll have certain like stories sort of swirling around in my head, like maybe from different biblical stories or just different things that I'm thinking about. And then a lot of times I will kind of get in a trance, and then it's like an hour and a half later, the show's over, and I like forgot I was performing, kind of. Um,
So you ever find that's I don't know whether this is true for other people, but I think you guys are the first people I've ever said this to because I was a little nervous to say it. But anyway, for some reason, the healthiest I feel physically is the moment I come off the stage for the next 2 or 3 hours.
wow.
Weird. I mean, I come off the stage like strength, happy, really. The body's like just it's just like glowing with energy. Amazing.
Hmm.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
get that?
I do feel that way, but I also I it depends too because sometimes I'll feel very exhausted because I'm jumping a lot during the
True.
show.
That's true.
So it just depends, but I also have a I'm trying to do less of this now, but I would drink tequila before the show as a sort of a ritual.
I do that as
And that
well.
That'll
I
do
Every
it.
think
show
it
I take
tires
one
me
shot.
out. Really? I'll
Yeah.
sometimes,
Why
if I
not?
have a long day and I have too much time to kill, I'll drink too much, and then that's not so great. And then I just feel too tired. But I do feel lately I've been talking to people in the front row after the show. I'll do
Yeah,
this like high five thing, and then
yeah,
one person is like, "Hey, can we like take a picture?" And then next thing I know, I'm just talking to everybody,
yeah,
which has been so cool actually.
yeah,
And at the same time, it's energizing. It's also tiring, but I love it. So.
yeah. It's great.
Yeah. But I think I weirdly sometimes feel healthier when I'm on tour because I'll walk around so much, but
Wow.
also it's stimulating to be in like new places. So I like I'm just kind of like awake, and then I'll end up sometimes walking like 10, 12 miles like
Yeah, yeah,
before a show. And then it's a little
Oh
bit
my
like
God.
crazy. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I also take one tequila shot before every set. But like yeah, because that it wakes me up a little bit. But I don't like to be like drunk when I play. But it is kind of weird how yeah, sometimes I'll feel the best like after the show. But it can also be sometimes can be a little like weird to if everyone's cheering and then you're just in the green room and it's like silent again right after. It can be
Yeah,
sort of like a bit of a come down, or
yeah,
it's
when
like
there's too many people in the
like
green.
you're back at the hotel after the show and it's like there was so much energy and then you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
what,
yeah,
like,
Back to real
so
life.
yeah. That is
yeah,
true. Sometimes
but
when the audience they come backstage or friends and all that stuff, depending on the frequency of the particular person
mhm,
standing in front of you, things can happen.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
cool. Well,
I, I think what Elijah was saying really insightful about the place and how you take a place in. Um, I've long had a theory that place and music making are inextricable,
mhm,
um,
hmm,
perhaps to the point of even if you're in a studio that's just in a different city and you can't tell where you are, it's just it affects how you approach the music. Um, and the term dancing about architecture
yeah,
is
mm,
is supposed to, famous term, suppose attributable to everyone from Elvis Costello to I don't know whom, but um, it's supposed to be a ridiculous concept, but I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
mm,
I
no,
think the form of the building that you're in, obviously acoustically, is going to have a great effect, but also just how that the shape of the building and the exterior, the city, how that finds itself into your music. So that when you say, you walk around cities and you take them in, and then again, it's like a meditation, um, and then a meditation on your own death. I mean, that's pretty intense. Elijah.
yeah. Well, it's
But I
it's
get
not
it.
necessarily.
I,
It's I tell myself like I'm going to die, and at some point I will be so grateful to be in this city, so that I don't take it for granted. But
yeah.
it's not like a. I'm not actually thinking. It's just sort of a prayer I say right before, like
No,
at
I
some
get it.
point I won't be here, and I'd be so grateful to be
It's,
where I am. So then it kind of helps like recenter me. But
yeah, it's not in any morbid sense. I mean, we should be meditating
yeah,
on
yeah,
our death as a
mhm.
practice for life. Um, you know, uh,
yeah,
but yeah, that's great. And the shot of tequila before going on for both of you,
yeah,
it's just the opening of the portal, you know. Um,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
uh,
Did you say opening the portal
just
or
like
the bottle? What did you say?
The portal.
Just to begin.
Yeah.
just like just like in the Caribbean and Puerto Rico or Cuba, where they pour one
Yeah.
out, onto the ground for the spirits before they play or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
it's a ritual, and it has salubrious effects on music making, uh, no question. And I speak from a nowhere near you guys, but from a pianist point of view about that.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mark's a piano player.
Yeah.
Some
Nice.
some some might say others,
Cheers.
but Elijah, I
Yeah.
do have a wonderful 1912 Steinway, completely reconditioned by the factory
Oh
and
wow.
other places. Steinway A,
Mm,
parlor
Oh
grand.
wow.
Um,
I I just got my grandma. My grandma was a piano teacher, and I just got her
mm,
Steinway brought up to my house the other day, which has been just a blessing to have that I
yeah,
but it's a 1976
mm.
Steinway
Oh,
D.
Model D. Oh, wow.
yeah,
Um,
the
One,
B.
yeah.
one.
That's a pretty that's a pretty rock and roll. 76 B
Is
is
that a
pretty rock
B
and roll.
or
Um,
Oh, it's a
D?
D.
The D
oh,
is a
D.
little mellow.
It's a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully you have
It's
a
a
room
D. It's
a
right
room.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there it
Yeah.
is. Hey, all right.
So yeah.
And that was a Chick Corea favorite. He loved those Steinway Model Ds until the C series and the Yamaha. What is it? There was a C something. Was it C? The ones, those really light touch, but very loud, and the sound really comes out of those things. Yeah, he really went for it.
Yeah. Wait, Martin, do
Yeah,
you live in LA
I'm in
as
Mar
well?
Vista, so I have a I have a recording
Oh, cool.
studio in the back with all my like a whole 1,000 square foot building with all my instruments and everything. Yeah,
Oh, sweet. It'd be great to connect
yeah.
after this or something. Maybe we could play,
Oh, that'd
play
be
duet or something
incredible.
sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
Likewise,
Well, every,
Stanley, of course.
Yeah,
I've been a
well,
huge fan of your music, so yeah.
those old time jam sessions. I miss that. So that's the one thing I don't like about LA. But I understand it's a proximity problem. I mean, New York and the old. I think it was the Brecker brothers, Michael and Randy. They had this loft, and pretty much every day somebody was jamming it.
Hmm.
You just go down this place and go up and play. Joni Mitchell had another one too, and miss that in
Oh, wow.
LA. It'd be nice to. Martin, we're going to come. We're going to have like 100 people come to your house.
okay.
At least 20 bass players with acoustic basses.
Sounds good to me.
15 singers, with their own amplifiers, and we're gonna have fun, man.
Set it up. Set it up. I'm wide open. Just
Okay.
after we produce this festival, please.
We got to get this festival done. Yeah, that's cool. Well, this has been good. Good talk there. Henry, you still around? Yes. Oh yeah, good. So, of course, we could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But I must leave. So I really, really enjoy you guys as people. I can feel who you are, and that's great. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
really,
I
really
can't
excited.
wait.
Yes.
And, I know we're having a jam session somewhere, something.
It's May 8th
Oh, sweet.
is the scheduled jam session. Maybe there's some impromptu stuff.
Yeah,
that
maybe like
happen.
the end of the night on the 9th. I was talking to
We're
Kamasi.
also
Yeah, Kamasi was like, yeah.
Okay.
we're
That was
we're
kinda cool.
also Stanley and I had a conversation this morning with the Georgian, which is on Ocean Avenue, and the Georgian room, they have a baby grand in there, they have jazz in there, and we were talking about doing something during the week, so perhaps that's another time and space for
Yeah, it would be
some
good. We
jam.
can get all this stuff documented so that people know about the festival. It's going to be cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
Oh,
great.
this is
It'll
gonna
be
be
awesome.
so fun.